we're on day 11 and it's disintegrate. So let's start. And we'll do, let's do a rubber toy just to test some things. And what I wanted to do was something like in the Tron movies where like it's like it goes into like cubes falling, like disintegrating. So the easiest way I know to make this into like a cube or like a Lego kind of thing is with points from volume. And then when you put that inside here, you get these points, but we need to get the cubes. So we can go and do a copy the points. We can get a cube and connect that in, but our cubes are way too big. So what we can do is grab the point separation here and copy that and then paste it on the actual scale of the cube, paste as relative reference. And now the point separation is the same size. They're matching. So the cube is the same size as the point separation. All right, and we could change it here too. So now we have more points. And we can also, let's move this up with match size. Match size, and then minimum on the justify y. So it's above 0. Perfect. And we can do an RBD or a bullet solver. Connect that in. We'll put a grid as a collider, and that would be on the 4th input. So let's rewind this. Let's color the grid something else. Okay. Then if we press play, this should start falling. We might have too many cubes, but let's wait a bit. Let's go back. Let's lower the resolution here or make it higher. Let's rewind back. And then all the pieces kind of collide on each other. Then later on, what we can do for like rendering and stuff, we can convert those cubes into lines. So it's kind of like a more like digitized, I guess. But we won't worry about that now. And then since I realized we can use mops for the Mardini challenges, I'll use a mops shape. Oh, okay, it's because I have an older version, but it should still work. So if I rewind this, we could do a mobs fall off, and then to see the fall off, we just tag this here, preview fall off, and then I'll make this like that. And then we'll add a attribute wrangle that I already saved. That pretty much makes the active attribute activate, which we're going to change from the mops fall off to activate. And hopefully it'll work. Right here, drag it in here. So now if we press play, that piece is getting stuck in there. So let's rewind back and we can grab our mops fall off. No, not this one here. Okay, so we can go and keyframe this. Like that, and then we can add some noise. Something like that. Let's rewind back. And let's add a little bit more there. Now if we play, it should follow that noise that we added. And that's like pretty much the effect. And then we just kind of start playing around with it. We don't have to use mops fall off. We can use other stuff as well, as long as we have that attribute called activate, and it goes from 0 to 1. So if we look at the activate, so let me add a new tab here. Geometry spreadsheet. So you could see that they're all 0 on activate. And then if we start animating this, you're going to start seeing that we have now turned that activate to 1. Okay, so what else can we do if we weren't going to use mops fall off? We can use a pyro source. I don't know if you guys have used pyro source spread. So let me show you real quick what it does. So for this example, I'll do something a little bit different, but we're gonna need a we'll do a sphere here. And then we'll add, we'll create an attribute. We can create the attribute or we can do it in Vex as well, but this is easier. And we'll call it temperature. And this would be 0. And we'll copy that name, paste it for the sphere, and we'll put a value of 1. And then we can do an attribute transfer. So it gets transferred over to the grid. And we'll put temperature. If we take a look at temperature, see that there, and we'll lower the threshold here. So now that we have that temperature, so we have temperature 1 here and 0. That's all we need for the pyrosource spread. Pyrosource spread, connect that in. And then we can lower the cooling rate. And the search radius, we can add a little bit. And if we were to play back, this is kind of what we get with that effect. So that's kind of what I want to do for this here. So if we were to pass over this same setup or similar setup, we can do it with a group. Let me see. Excuse me. So we can do, so I was saying a group. And we'll put it after the points because we want to group the points. And we could do a bounding box. And let's move this over here. Oops. And instead of primitives, we put points. And this is our group active group. It could be whatever name you want. I'll do an attribute create. We'll get in our active group and we'll put in temperature. And now if we bring in our, not attribute transfer, the pyrosource. Let's see, we are points, temperature would be 1. So now we can see our temperature here. And if we press play, we get that same effect. Perfect. So now how do we get that to work with our bullet solver? We'll do, since we have activate here, we're gonna do a attribute remap. And we're gonna get temperature and turn it into activate. I believe that would be it. Let's try it out. Let's see. I might be missing something here, but let's test it out. Okay, so yeah, it's working. So as that pyrosource spreads around, it activates the dynamics. Pretty cool. All right. Let's lower the amount here to 115. So that's pretty much the effect. And now now that we have it set up, what do we do with the effect? So that's when we're just gonna create something interesting, something that looks good for an image. So I'm thinking of probably doing the content library. So I'm gonna look at that, and we can do a preview of this too. There it is. There it is. Yeah, the other one was like meshing on itself. So yeah, so here is what I posed in another project. Well, on day 2, I was messing around with the spider rig and I got this working, and it's the same setup, but for some reason it wasn't working out for me this time around. So we can now pose this guy. He's like running into the wind kind of face. All right, then he's just wondering. All right. This is kind of what we had with the Electro earlier. Trying to pose them kind of in that same way. Oh, he's falling over. There you go. Yeah, and the parenting for this is not really the correct way either. So that's why it's looking this way. Like everything is kind of pivoting where the knee is, which is not supposed to be that way. And then and this is like the main pivot, which is not correct. All right. All right. Hopefully we have geometry here. Yeah, we have primitives. Yeah, 72,000. So we should be able to cubify this guy real quick without any issues. Okay. And let's save it. I made a lot of modifications and I don't want to get a crash. Okay. We can look at it from here, rotate the hand, rotate it this way. It's like, help. All right. All right, let's see what we do here. So now we can move this whole setup, bring it in here. Now we got points. Perfect. And we could put it like 0.2, 0.02. And now we take a look at our group. We need to make sure that that group is going into the, I don't know, something like that maybe. Rewind it. Oh no, we got the same issue. Why did our character just... our character just decided to repose itself. Oh, I see what happened. Oh, okay. This is what happens when you don't really pay attention. You gotta delete all these keyframes because they were placed from before. So let's just delete the rig pose and we'll do another rig pose. All right. And we'll just do the same thing again. It's like, what is this guy doing? It's like, that's not how you rig. All right. We got this going up. We got him moving his head up, had his arm bent. We had his hand turning slightly. And we can, ooh, that doesn't look good there. Something like this, better. Okay. Save that. All right, so now if we take a look again, we don't need the match size. Let's remove that. And we're back here again. Look at our pyro source spread. If we take a look at temperature, okay, perfect. We got temperature, and then that's spreading around. Okay, so let's go back here. So it would be cool to get like something like that. So how do we get our texture from this guy? Let me see where that texture is at. Let me see how this node works, because I've seen it work with color. But I'm not getting the color transfer over. Attribute from map. So here is the geometry to take the textures from. Oh, let's disconnect that. So this is the geometry. Then we're going into in there. And then we would use color. And would it work with points? No, let's bring it in here. It has to be a point group. What if we do it after the points here? What if we do an attribute transfer? Eh, kind of. Normal. Could do also a clip. And then we get here. What happened here? Okay. Okay. Put it in 0. There should be just an invert, just to make it easier. And you guys can get the idea, I guess, with what I'm trying to do here. All right, so let's do an out here. Let's just take a look at this in the render view. Let's save it. Okay, so let's do a time shift. And let's just freeze it on frame 12. And see why we're not seeing. Let's reset the viewport. It looks like it's loading something, so I'll just wait. I'll be right back in like 5 minutes. And I was able to reopen the scene and just put a dome light in here to test out some lighting. Let's put a floor in here, a grid. Right, and then what if we were to VDB this? So are these packed? No. Okay, so let's do, might be too heavy, but let's test it out anyways. VDB smooth. Let's do it only on this one here. Okay. And then what I want to do now is I can do attribute randomize, or let's do another mops shape fall off. And then we can take a look at the blending here. 0.2, rotate it around. And let's add some noise. Let's see what happens here. Okay, octaves. Something like that, and then we can do an attribute remap. And we're gonna have to move this setup before the points so we can scale them down, because they're not unless they're, yeah, they're packed. Okay, so maybe let's do instead of mops, transform. Let's scale the points down. I guess trying to figure out the angle is going to be the hardest part, but all right, so let's go. After I'm done saving, I'm going to go back and we will start the shading and lighting process now. Okay. All right, so we're going to create another material and we'll bring in the piece and we'll just put a star on it. Now let's go in here and let's create another USD material. And we'll call it cubes. And we'll assign it. And I already got the timer a little while ago to wrap it up. So yeah, let's see what's happening with these lights. I'm gonna open up Houdini in another session, and I'm just gonna copy this setup here. So it could be that our setup here is too heavy. With all the other projects from the other days, I'm guessing with the saving process, it's taking a little long, and then I'll just paste it after in here. Okay, so copy this and then paste it. Copy, paste. All right, I left the other session open just in case this one crashes. Okay, and then let's go back in here into the main setup, and then I'm just gonna use on this part right here, I'm gonna use a attribute. Let's see. Let's get the so we have the mops here, and we can use this color as soon as it loads. Let me remove this. This scene graph is causing issues just because it has to load up every single time. Like it loads up every single piece in here into the graph. So I'm just going to take it out for now. So if we look here, we'll just change it to like grayscale. And we can possibly use that as emission. Something like that. So we could use the mops fall off as the emission. on the shader. And then we can do an attribute randomize and set it to primitives. Let's see, let's turn off the color. So we got randomization of the primitives, and then we can go and make that, I guess we could leave it in color. We'll use CD. All right, let's go back. It's getting heavy. All right, we go inside. Let's do geometry property value. And we'll do mops fall off. I think it was. And go to emission. Let's see. Okay, so now we have the emission showing up. Very good. And now let's bring in the other one. Let's make this instead of blue, we could do like I don't know, black, maybe. No, you can't really see much there. Maybe like the skin tone. Then we can do, what was it? Geometry color. And we can throw that down into the transmission. HSV adjust or adjust HSV. Put it in here. No, it's not working how I thought. Is it color correct or color correct? And just put the saturation to 0. Okay. and it's multiply this down the emission. It's a little bit too strong right now. And then the color of the emission, we could change it to something else, maybe red. So let's pin this and we will add a camera. And for the camera, we'll also make it one by one like we've done before. And maybe we do 9 by 16. So it's a little bit bigger, a little longer. I don't know what you guys think so far. Hopefully it looks okay. And let's do a wide view. No, it looks too crazy. All right, let's. Just trying to find an angle that's gonna look good for our render. And maybe we don't do a floor. Maybe we just remove the floor. So if I were to just go back here, and instead of doing a collision on the floor, we'll remove it. What's tomorrow's theme? Let's see. Disintegrate is still on. Let's see what else. Tomorrow is jiggle. So that one shouldn't be too crazy. When heavy in geometry, hopefully. It's still colliding. Oh no, is it? It looked like it was still colliding for a second. And what we can do is actually do another mops fall off on the bottom and just make the pieces kind of disappear. How about we do that? Let's go in here and then, so we got the pieces here, and then we could do another, right here, we'll just freeze this. We'll do another mops fall off. Or let's copy what we have and we'll change the attribute because we're using mops fall off for the color of the shader. And we'll just put scale, not that we need it. We need it here. We're gonna put scale on this one. All right, and then we can rotate this. Rotate it the other way. What's happening here? So we got scale here. Okay, this is properly set. And then scaled here. Let's change the color too. So I'm not seeing. Let's reset. Okay, so yeah, these are supposed to be scaling down. So we have the regular ones here, and then we scaled them down. Just doing everything. So instead of scale, let's do mops. And we'll type in mops. Was that it? Okay, so that's nothing. And then we're adding it back. Let's not add the noise. It's not really working how I thought it would. All right, let's just remove these then. And we can do let's do a brand new mops fall off. No, mop. Why is it disappearing? Mops fall. Oh, shape. Yeah, not thinking straight. Let's do it on this one here. I believe that's what the issue was. And then bring this here. Yeah, I think that was our issue there. Let's add the noise back. Let's duplicate this one and delete it. Perfect. And then we can move it down. All right, perfect. So that's kind of what I want, like fading it completely away. And we got to name this something else. We'll just put mops. And then on here, we'll put mops. And we're going to have to unfreeze this, load it, and freeze it back. Can't really decide on which angle. Maybe something like this. I could kind of hide some of the imperfections and stuff like that. Yeah, mops just speed things up a lot. Like when it comes to like instancing things and just kind of scaling them. It's just like a really good fall off type of system, and then you could drive those fall offs to do whatever you want. Yeah, I kind of like what's going on here. All right, so let's go back to a regular view and let's create a camera from this perspective. Yeah, I think the version that I have installed of mops is actually older one, so I'm getting like these errors, probably because of the Python switch for 2021. Since they changed it to PySide 6, I think it might be those errors, but I'm not 100% sure. But they still work. The nodes work just fine. Yeah, it's like really slow, my scene right now. Like I already changed the aspect ratio to 1:1 and it still hasn't loaded here. It like does some weird it's like really slow. I'm not sure. And I've done a labs reset viewport a few times and haven't got it to work properly. I also have like everything in here that I've done, so it could be that. I have all this stuff. This was yesterday's. I thought it came out pretty cool. I was also having some render issues with that one, but I got it fixed. Um, maybe because it has to think of the node and read it. If we just put cam, and then we'll change this to cam. I mean, that seemed to have loaded, I guess. No, cam. There it is. All right, so I'm just gonna steal some of this render setup from another project, copy paste it, and then put it here. Just gotta make sure I don't have any crypto mats. Okay, and then we'll just put 11, day 11, perfect. Just copy this here. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I recorded this yesterday as well. So if you wanna skim through what I did, it's pretty much fractures, like not Voronoi, but just the regular fracture, Boolean fracture actually, with planes, and then added some gradients and stuff to drive shaders, and added some volume on the inside and scattered points on the volume, and yep, that's pretty much it for that one. Let's see. Let's render this out. 19. Let's do 2000 by 2000. And rendering. Let's do 512. It might be too much, but we'll see. And let me save the scene. Yeah, tomorrow I'm gonna do probably day 12 in another file, just a clean file, just to make sure there's nothing that's getting corrupted or anything because the scene is so large. Okay, so let's render this. Why is it trying to evaluate frame 12 again? All right, we'll see. All right, here it came out finally. And then we'll take a look. Hopefully it renders quick. I've already been streaming for close to 3 hours. We had some issues with trying to get some rigs to work. I was trying to get the Electra model from the Apex library, like the stuff they have in the content library. But for some reason, I was trying to unpack the so because it comes in packed pretty much, and then I want to bring it into SOPs to be able to put points on it and stuff like that. Every time I unpacked it, the position of the character moved around, and I wasn't able to solve that. So I have to see what happened. And I also tried exporting it into FBX and other file formats, and it would do the same thing. All right, so it finished. And let's take a look. Let's do a cop network. Let's drag that in. It looks like it's in the scene, but it's not. It's let's go here. There it is. All right. I don't even know what I'm gonna do. Just maybe a glow in the back, like reddish glow. STF, and then I've done this a few times to mono. I'm still learning all this stuff, so if you have any tips, let me know. Let's see. So it goes mono, and then I usually go into a blur and put like 0.5. Oops. 0.5. And then we can do a constant, I would guess. Let's do I don't want to use it like that, but we'll do an over. Let's do too much. We might need to just merge. Let's do a trying to think what other thing we can do. Let's just do a over here, and do a constant. And this is automatically, what's the other one? I think it was like format. I forgot the name of it now. Yeah, I don't really use stuff from the library either. Um, they have some cool rigs you can just explore. Some cool Apex rigs. They have like a robot walking and some other stuff, like I think it was a canary or something. Let's see. Is it layers? Is it just a layer? Okay. So, and then we have 2K. Let's delete this one. Let's delete this as well. And I'm wondering if I just do another blend. Yeah, this would be background, foreground. Yeah, I still don't get why they put background as the first input and then foreground. I know it's alphabetical order, but it doesn't make sense to me. It should be like front and back, top, bottom. Okay. Is it this? And then I gotta get a constant. It's so different trying to composite in here. Interesting. Invert. So weird. All right. I don't know. It looks weird. Has like some softening here. Uh, does this have that? That should be fine. It looks clean. Let's see if we add a glow. I know this is getting messy here, but let's see what we can do. I'll put glow only. And then we can just delete all this stuff. Blend, and then we'll do a foreground for the glow and we just screen it. Yeah, I don't even know what to do with the background, which makes me think like, should I just render this a lot closer? Like, or is there a crop in here? Crop. And then we can do, what is it, like 500 by 500? Oh, it's weird the way it does this. There's no gizmo. It should be, let me see, answer, no. They should have a UI gizmo, how they have for the HSV adjust. Like it has this thing here. Well, it kind of looks cool. Different colors. All right, but all right, I won't mess with that. But yeah, this thing, like they should do something like that for all these tools that require moving things around. Yeah, I'm not sure how that works there. Opa, 1500. There you go. And then maybe it's less on the. Let's do 2000, and then we'll do 900, and then we'll move it. Let's do 1900. Yeah, maybe we just leave it like that. So we don't have all that extra space. And then what if we add a chromatic aberration? Not that much distortion. It's like digital. So digital distortion. I don't know. All right. I think that's it. I think I'll wrap it up here. It's already 3 hours. Crazy. Oh my goodness. Let's do ROP output. Thankfully, I started an hour earlier than usual because it would have already been 12 Eastern time. All right, let's go. $OS, and then we'll do PNG. And we'll just copy all this here. Final. And save this out. Perfect. And then let's take a look at that. All right, so this was the final. I think it looks interesting. I'll probably come back to this another time and see how I can make this effect better. But yeah, just didn't have enough time. But yeah, trying to challenge myself with these short building of all these different themes. But yeah, thanks for sticking in, Matt. I appreciate it. I'll talk to you later on. And oh, and by the way, congrats again on winning the grand prize for the tutorial stuff. That's really great. Alrighty, so I'll see you guys again on possibly tomorrow around the same time, 8 p.m. Eastern time, and tomorrow I think is Jiggle or something like that. So hopefully that one's not too difficult, not so heavy in geometry. But yeah, all right, guys, have a good night, and I'll see you guys again tomorrow.